When we think about power, wealth, and success, most of us picture tall skyscrapers, luxury cars, and people whose signatures can move millions of dollars. But today, I want to tell you a story that begins exactly there, in the world of power and wealth, and then travels to a place far deeper, the world of the human spirit. There was once a man, a self-made millionaire, who believed he had everything. He owned companies, traveled in private jets, and lived in homes bigger than hotels. His life was a living definition of luxury. But behind his expensive suits and shining smile, something was wrong. His body was failing him. Doctors told him he had an illness money couldn't cure. It was eating away at his health, his confidence, and his sense of control. He tried everything. The best hospitals, the finest specialists, the latest research. But nothing worked. This is where our story begins. One day, this millionaire went on a trip to a small town to visit a philanthropic project he had funded. It was a sunny day, and villagers gathered to see him. Cameras were flashing. Reporters were taking notes. In that crowd stood a boy, a thin boy in simple clothes, holding a small bag on his shoulder. He had no money, no influence, no power. But he had something the millionaire didn't: faith. Faith not in himself, but in something bigger than both of them. When the boy approached the millionaire, he saw how sick he looked. He didn't see the cars, the watches, or the security guards. He just saw a man in pain. And he said, softly, "Sir, you don't look well. May I help you?" The millionaire, who was used to controlling every conversation, sneered. "Help me, you? What could a boy like you do for me? I've been to the best doctors. If you can heal me, I'll give you $1 million. The crowd laughed nervously. They thought it was a joke. They thought it was impossible. But the boy didn't laugh. He didn't argue. He simply said, "Okay, I'll try." And that moment changed everything. The boy began visiting the millionaire every day. He didn't bring medicine. He didn't bring high-tech equipment. He brought something else: kindness, prayer, and a belief that healing could happen. He listened to the millionaire's fears. He held his hand when the pain was bad. He reminded him of the hope he had lost. At first, the millionaire resisted. He rolled his eyes. He told his assistants not to let the boy in. But every time the boy left, something in the millionaire felt lighter. Something deep inside began to shift. The anger and frustration he had built up over years began to melt. The boy's presence, so pure, so genuine, was doing something the machines and medicines couldn't do. It was healing not just his body, but his heart. Weeks turned into months. The millionaire began to walk without help again. His appetite returned. Doctors were confused. They couldn't explain it medically. But the millionaire knew. He could feel it. The boy's faith, his belief, his compassion, it was creating a space where healing could happen. One day, the millionaire called the boy to his office. He looked healthier than he had in years. Tears filled his eyes. "You did it," he said. "I don't know how, but you healed me. You saved me, and I promised you $1 million. Here's the check." But the boy shook his head. "I don't want your money," he said. "I just wanted to help." In that moment, the millionaire broke down and wept. For the first time in his life, he understood that all his wealth, all his power, all his success, none of it compared to the value of a single act of kindness. He tore up the check and instead built a hospital in the boy's village, naming it after him. This story, though it sounds like a miracle, is a mirror. It reflects something about us. It tells us that in life, we may have money, education, or influence, but real power is the ability to lift another human being. Real healing doesn't always come from medicine or technology. Sometimes it comes from connection, compassion, and belief. Let's pause here and think about the deeper lesson. How many times have we, like the millionaire, thought that money could solve every problem? How many times have we underestimated someone because they looked poor, young, or powerless? How many times have we dismissed the idea of hope or faith because it didn't fit our version of reality? This speech is not just a story. It's an invitation to remember that your greatest strength may not be in your bank account, your education, or your job title, but in your capacity to care. Think about it. A boy who had nothing gave the greatest gift of all. He gave his time, his heart, and his belief. And a man who had everything learned the greatest lesson of all. This is what true greatness looks like. Not the applause of crowds, not the size of your house, but the impact you have on one life. Now, let me speak directly to you. You may not be a millionaire. You may not have the resources to change the world on a large scale. But every one of us has something the world needs. Every one of us has the power to heal someone's pain, lift someone's spirit, or restore someone's hope. You may think your smile, your words, your small acts of kindness don't matter, but they do. Because just like the boy in the story, you could be the one who changes someone's life. You could be the one who stands beside someone when the world has turned its back. You could be the one who gives faith to someone who's lost it. You could be the one who proves that impossible things can happen. That's why this story resonates. Because it's not about a boy and a millionaire. It's about you and me. It's about what we choose to do with our hearts. We live in a world where people measure success by wealth, likes, and followers. But deep down, our souls are hungry for something else: meaning, connection, and legacy. This story shows us that legacy is not built by what we get, but by what we give. Imagine a world where each of us acted like that boy. Imagine workplaces where leaders cared about their employees' well-being as much as their performance. Imagine schools where teachers saw the potential in every child, no matter their background. Imagine communities where neighbors helped neighbors without expecting anything in return. That's not a fantasy, it's a possibility, and it begins with us. Every day, you have opportunities to be that boy. When you listen to someone who's hurting. When you encourage someone who's doubting themselves. When you forgive someone who's wronged you. These are not small acts. These are the seeds of healing. And healing is contagious. When you heal someone's heart, they go on to heal others. The millionaire didn't just recover. He transformed. He used his resources to build a hospital, to help countless people. That's the ripple effect of kindness. So today, I challenge you to ask yourself, who can I heal? Whose life can I touch? How can I turn my pain, my resources, my time into something that lifts another person? Don't wait until you're rich. Don't wait until you're perfect. Don't wait until the world notices you. Start now, with what you have, where you are. Because miracles don't always happen in hospitals. They happen in hearts. And here's the truth. You may never know the full impact of your kindness. The boy in the story probably never imagined that the millionaire would recover, let alone build a hospital. But his act of compassion changed countless lives. Yours can too. This speech is titled, "I'll give you $1 million, you'll heal me," mocked the millionaire, until the boy did the impossible, but the real title could be, "How Love and Compassion Outweigh Money." Because that's what this is about. The millionaire had power, but the boy had purpose. The millionaire had wealth, but the boy had wisdom. The millionaire had influence, but the boy had impact. Which do you want? Power or purpose? Wealth or wisdom? Influence or impact? When you leave this room today, you'll go back to your jobs, your families, your routines. But I want you to carry this with you. Somewhere, someone needs your compassion. Somewhere, someone's life could be transformed by your belief in them. Somewhere, someone is waiting for you to be the boy in their story. And when you step into that role, you'll discover something incredible. You'll discover that you're not just healing others. You're healing yourself. Because compassion doesn't just change the receiver. It transforms the giver. It lifts your spirit, fills your heart, and gives your life meaning. The millionaire thought he was giving the boy a challenge. In reality, the boy was giving the millionaire a gift. And through that gift, both were transformed. That's the power you hold. That's the power we all hold. So the next time you see someone in need, don't dismiss them. Don't underestimate them. Don't think you have nothing to give. Remember this story. Remember this speech. Remember that miracles are possible, and you might be the one to make them happen. And one day, someone may tell your story. Someone may say, "When I had nothing, when I was lost, when I was hurting, this person showed up. This person believed in me. This person healed me." And that, my friends, will be worth more than $1 million. Thank you.